Ever just feel like you've been trapped in a dream that you just cannot wake up from? Sean Hannity, I got a simple question for you. Have you lost your mind? This is absolutely without a doubt Sean Insanity. Thanks for stopping by the Afternoon Drive. This is our online edition, which runs in conjunction with our radio show. Hey, give us a thumbs up and a like. Make sure that you share this video to your social media platforms. And make sure you're a subscriber and have smacked the word all after you smack the bell. Otherwise, YouTube won't tell you I'm here. I like Sean Hannity. I like his program. Now, from time to time, he gets stuck in a rut that I refer to him as five-line Hannity. In other words, he'll say 5 things over and over throughout his show, and he just repeats them like a mantra. And every guest that he has on, he asks them to agree with his monologue, his observations. The show is properly named. It's called Hannity. It's his show. It's his ideas. And by the way, there's a part of me, I don't mind that. My radio show, if you listen to it, my tagline is, this is not talk radio, it's thought radio. In fact, I used to say, and they're not your thoughts, they're my thoughts, and you've like them. Well, we're actually living now in a society where that is basically what our so-called elected officials, political leaders are telling us. It's their way or the highway, or it's literally no way, because you can't be on the highway right now because you're considered non-essential travel. That said, Sean Hannity has, I get it. He is one of the few, I think, last conservative voices left over at Faux Pas News, formerly known as Fox News. And on the one hand, I really do believe, out of sincerity, he gets it, he sees things, and he wants to be that conservative voice of reason. But at the same time, and Sean, you are paid, you are compensated by a corporate entity that to a degree gets to exercise control over what you say. And even if you say they don't, they do. And you at times do feel obligated to carry the team water. In other words, to somehow defend, promote, and pontificate the propaganda. So Sean Hannity on his radio show has on Governor Andrew Cuomo, a guy who apparently has just decided he, and he alone, has the ability to completely disregard the U.S. Constitution. I'll have more to say about that in another monologue. That said, so he gets in this back and forth with the governor, and Sean decides he's going to roll out his ideas for reopening New York City. Now, this is going to take a couple of minutes, and I thought about airing Sean's comments in sections and then dealing with them, and then I decided, no, you are a smart audience. I'm going to play the entire, I think it's 2.5 minute clip. And this is Sean Hannity's formula for reopening New York City.
Now, if you want my plan, we'll call it the Hannity plan. To reopen New York City it'd be the following. Masks and gloves temporarily might be the new normal in New York City, even indoors. Non-essential workers, they're going to have to work from home, at least 50% of the workforce in every building in New York. 50% is the goal. Keep them working at home. That allows more social distancing, less concentration on the streets and the buildings of New York City. Digital temperature checks. They don't touch you. Put it at your forehead. Bing, 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 boom. That has to happen to everybody entering any building. It should be mandatory, again, temporarily, if you want entrance into any building in New York City. I discussed all of this with the governor today. I want to see Yankee Stadium open. I want Citi Field, where the Mets play, open. I want MetLife Stadium in New Jersey open for the Giants and Jets. Now, this is not my decision. But now you have to start with this one thing. People most at risk with underlying health issues or compromised immune systems, guys, you shouldn't go. Not this year. You're going to have to take a year off. Every player, every trainer, every coach, every ticket taker, every food and beverage worker, anybody working in these stadiums will have to have that Abbott 5-minute test. Have to. Anyone that wants to attend a game. Now, if I have the choice attending the game or not attending the game, I'm just speaking for myself. Consult your doctor. I'm not a doctor. But you must get the temperature test to get into any Yankee Stadium. You get the temperature test. If you have a temperature, they give you information. You go to your doctor, be safe at home, how to do contact tracing. No, can't have a database. Got to respect medical privacy. But you can't be if you have a temperature going into any even outdoor stadium. Now, temporarily, again, not the best conditions, but if it's my choice and I have to wear gloves, a mask, okay, I'll wear it. I'd rather go and wear it. If everyone else is wearing it, we can suck it up for a couple of months until things have passed. Probably can't eat popcorn because you have to keep your mask off the whole time, but you probably could eat a hot dog. You open up your respirator, take a bite, and you chew it under your mask. I have to drink my beer if I'm at a game. So if I have to use a straw and slip it in, I'll do that. Whatever it takes to get my beer. I want to have a beer. Everyone's got to make their own decision. What is your appetite for any risk? You get in a car, it's risk. You're going to have to decide, consult with your own doctor. I would rather have my temperature taken, drink beer from a straw, eat a hot dog by going like this and chewing it in a mask than not go at all. That's my decision. You make yours.
This is so many levels of insane, I don't know where to begin. But let me start with this. Hannity, I think your intention's right. I really do. I'm not going to sit here and think that you are somehow espousing a nefarious plot under the guise of trying to sound conservative. And those online that are doing that to you, I completely disagree with. But I will say this. I think on the one hand, you really do want to get back to life as normal. And I think you are smart enough to understand that even the president's rollout of the great reopening of America ain't so great. Sorry, Mr. President, and I love you. I support you. But you've been cornered by the Dr. Fauci gang, led by Mike Pence. And so we gotta rely on the medical experts, and we gotta let the governors do their thing their way. Oh my, oh my, oh my. So Hannity, I think, though, wants to get life back to normal, and he thinks that by, in some ways, capitulating with the demands of the governor and the insane ideals of the left, who basically would have us quarantined for the next 2 years until they can absolutely guarantee we got a magic pill, a shot, and you'll never get sick again. Which is absolute insanity, and that's not going to happen. So Hannity, I think, is trying to make the best of both here. And so he proposes what he considers to be reasonable compromises. So we're all going to wear masks. Really? Really? Every medical expert, anyone in the medical field who knows their stuff about the transmission of infectious disease will tell you, number one, a mask cannot stop a virus. It can't. But you do put it on for a certain level of, I guess the word is a self sense of security. But ultimately, the microcosmic size of viruses can filter through a mask. We do understand that. But again, this idea that it gives people a sense of security, but health experts will tell you if you wear the mask incorrectly, you could actually be creating more harm for yourself than benefit. So if somebody's going to have a mask, but they're going to keep grabbing it with their hand, and they got their hand over the face of the mask, and they're putting it on to go outside so that they can, be a part of the mandate, and they're getting on and off public transportation, and they're going in and out of buildings in New York, and they want to go to ball games, and they want to go to Madison Square Garden, and they're putting their mask on and off. If they're putting it on and off incorrectly, that could actually spread the virus. That could actually make them sick, even when they weren't sick, because now the crap on their hands is now on the face of the mask, and now it's over your face, and you're breathing it in, and you're breathing it out, and you're sounding like Darth Vader. And then, of course, once again, aha, the numbers are spiking. Quarantine again. We knew it wasn't safe to bring you out. Hannity, this is a bad idea, and you're now playing into it. And let's get real. You're going to slip a straw under the mask so you can drink your beer. Just it totally negates the purpose of having the mask. We've all seen these videos that people are posting on Facebook and YouTube before they get pulled down. You know, people standing in a checkout line. They got their gloves on. They got their mask on. And I watched a video, one guy goes up to the self-scanning, and he can't get his debit card out of his wallet. So you see him, he pulls his mask down, he yanks the glove off, he wets his fingers, pulls the debit card out, swipes it, puts it back, puts his mask back on, puts his glove back on, thinking, you just absolutely defeated the whole purpose and having the dumb mask on to begin with. Now, am I glad there was not the mask police standing there saying, you didn't do this properly. No, we got to quarantine you. No, because that would be just a whole nother level of insanity. But the fact that we're now encouraging people to do behavior, which, number one, isn't going to do jack. The bottom line is this. The numbers are going down not because of social distancing, but herd immunity. Hannity, if you want to do your listeners a favor, if you want to do your viewers a favor, if you truly want to help this president and you want to stand for the truth, then do the truth. You and Tucker and Laura, who the only ones at Fox News that have a real audience, shoot straight with the American people. You do have the ear of the president. Don't just be more propaganda. And I know the president is even feeling somewhat that he's got to kind of say certain things now because that's what's expected of him. Bullhawk. We need the truth. What you need to be pushing to the American people, herd immunity. That's why the numbers are going down. Herd immunity. We're going to scan the foreheads of every person before they can get into the Garden or Shea Stadium or it's Citi Field now. Yankee Stadium? Really? And how's that going to work? Somebody's already laid out hundreds of dollars for tickets, and maybe it's hot that day. Maybe it's hot in line. I've had moments in time where my wife is a nurse, so I get my temperature checked. I've had days where my temperature's been high. And an hour or two later, it's completely normal. I don't know. But now we're going to pull people out of line. They're out all that money. And for many of us who don't live right next door to a large stadium, it's an event. When I take my family to a ball game, it's an event. We're going to drive a couple, 3 hours, maybe stay in a hotel, get a nice meal together. And, because it's like a one-day vacation, I have laid out good money for really good seats because I don't go to ball games and sit where I can't see anything. That's just not me. If I'm going to do that, I'll stay home and watch it on television. If I'm going to go to the ball game, I want the full experience. I want to be just a couple of rows away from the players, and I'm going to lay out the money to do that. And now I'm going to get told, what if there's a group of 4 of us? What if I got my kids with me and one of them has the temperature? So he'll have to sit here in this office with you because the rest of us, we laid out all this money, we're going to the game. Well, of course not. You're going to take your child, you're going to leave. Well, we'll issue you some kind of, and you won't get a refund. You'll get a rain date. Well, you can come back tomorrow. Because there's no way these sporting venues, these concerts, etc., they're not going to give up the money just because you got a fever. Do you understand the lunacy and chaos this is going to create? Not to mention how long and slow the lines are going to be getting into a venue now because they got to take your temperature. And his other idea, we're going to take your temperature and you're going in any building in New York. So let's say, again, I don't live in New York City. I've been to New York City multiple times. I used to live in New York. So let's say I'm Manhattan. And I'm going to go in 5 stores right in a row. Bing, bada bing, bada bing, bada boom. I got to get my temperature checked every stinking time. And what happens if I go into one store? Oh, get out. I go in the next one and, it's normal there. Because you're assuming that all the temperature gauges work. Can I tell you of a really sick meme idea I have? I would love to post it, but I am a pastor and I do have to follow some protocol. But some of you have already gathered, I'm not the typical pastor. But I have this great idea for a meme. Fine, because you know, and I'll say more about this in the next video, of the not so great reopening of America, it's going to be required. Now everybody wear a mask and have their temperature checked. So I want a picture of a guy bent over with his full butt exposed. And I want to say, take my temperature. And then in parentheses underneath it, states reissue shutdown, lockdown. Not enough rectal thermometers. How do I know that all of these scanning thermometers are calibrated and worked? So now I could possibly be inconvenienced and out all kinds of money because the thermometer at that gate with that person didn't work. And now, essential workers, you must now be tested for coronavirus. But this is not an infringement on your constitutional rights. That's what Hannity just said. Yes, it is. It most certainly is. And if you can't hear the Nazi with the swastika saying, "May I have your papers? Why are you here?" Wake up. Hannity, shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. And I like you. I do. I'm not mad at you. And I hope if a member of your production team watches this, and I know they do, because funny thing is I hear things come out of my mouth and then exactly word for word out of your mouth 2 days later. Hey, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. It's also called theft. But, hey, I get it. We all borrow from each other. I don't mind you borrowing. Just once in a while acknowledge I'm alive. It's if you don't do that, but you're stealing my material, it's like, what? You're raping the corpse and then not kissing it and saying thank you? But, well, I didn't do that. Please, Hannity, at least say thank you. Or at least acknowledge, hey, there's a guy on YouTube you got to check out named Pastor Marty. Just say that. But, Sean, I'm sure somebody of your production team is going to let you know, hey, there's a video on YouTube by that Pastor Marty called Sean Insanity. I don't hate you. As a New Yorker, one to another, I hope you get the satire, sarcasm intent here. Don't give in to the hysteria and to the narrative. Yes, New York needs to reopen. Just do it. Just do it. Your governor is cooking the books, and I got more to say about that.